All right, easy here for my latest partner, ExpressVPN. You're like, what the hell is that? I'll get to that. Calm down. First of all, going online without ExpressVPN is like forgetting to mute yourself on a Zoom meeting. Do you really want all of your coworkers to hear you trash talking them? Okay, so that's kind of like helping me illustrate to you what's up. Why everybody needs a VPN. Okay, so everything you do online, the shows you watch, the websites you go to, anything you do online, that gets sent to your internet service provider, including your mobile network providers. They know every single website you visit. All right? Reroute 100% of your traffic to ExpressVPN through their secure encrypted servers so your ISP cannot see your browsing history. Privacy is really big to a lot of folks, so that's why this is very, very important. ExpressVPN is the best. They hide your IP address, making it extremely difficult for third parties to track your online activity. That's important for your old pal EZ because with my setup, I can't have any compromises. My internet is so important for doing what I do that if anything affects what I do, that's trouble. That's why I use ExpressVPN. Very easy to use. You just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. Works on all of your devices too, phones, laptops, tablets, more, so you can stay private on the go. I swear by this, and my life is so much easier now that the Eric Zane Show podcast is utilizing ExpressVPN. So what you need to do is protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/Zane. That's expressvpn.com/Zane. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Zane. Hello again, hello. I just called to say hello. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from right here. You've heard me complaining about this ridiculous injury somewhere in like where my nipple to my rib, below my ribs, there's a set of muscles in there. I think they're called the intercostals. Pretty sure I pulled some muscle in there. And goddamn, there's only one way I can lay when I'm in bed that's not painful. Side sleeper to begin with. No big deal. But it hasn't been going away. And then I woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Sorry. And it was feeling better. I was like, okay. You know, that's what they say, rest your ass off and all will be okay. Sure enough, I woke up and it was like, I could tell that I'm on the mend. It hurts to breathe. So it was a real bummer when I had like a tickle in my throat. And I started to violently cough. And it's like, I could just feel myself re-injuring myself. Oh, my God. It's still not as bad as it was yesterday. So I think I've turned the corner. Chris says, damn, I love that canvas. Darla, Bruce, and O'Neill. I think I need to make this for sale. We can put it on T-shirts. This is all stuff that I'll say but won't do. Nix is saying hello from Texas. Hello to you. Let's get into the task at hand. Yesterday on the show, I was talking a bit about the announcement of Corn Dog Queen Kelly saying, hey, everybody, I got divorced. Now, I want to stop right there because one of the usual things that I hear from people is, like, if I talk about shit like that or on that show or anything or do who are these free beers, the common thing to say from people who hate my guts is, oh, you got to get over it, man. They're living in your head rent free. Oh, my God. Get out and touch some grass. How long ago was it, man? You're such an unhealthy obsession. It's like, I don't know if you understand this or not, but I'm not in it to satisfy an unhealthy obsession. I'm in it to make fucking money. And I have found something that is worth something to people, and they want to hear what the fuck I have to say about one of America's great morning shows. Let's be honest here. There's a lot to talk about. Now, it's not like there's anything to talk about with interesting shit that's actually going on the radio, which that actually is interesting. It's interesting that there's nothing good on that show. And I'm here for it. And being that I have a master's degree, I have a doctorate's degree in how the radio industry and that show operates. I had a very personal relationship with the people involved on that show. Now, I want to say this. I have no personal beef with anyone on that show. Wait for it. Except Greg. I want to kick his ass. So, as it goes between Greg and I, then it goes for the whole show. Okay? That's how I feel. Chris says, downloads spike up, getting money, talking about it, and their only reply is, you got fired. So true. And I just want to grab these people and strangle them. Okay? I even had some guy reach out to me and say, easy. He tried doing this soft-spoken type of approach with how he feels about me. Steve Verano. He wrote this to me back in fucking April. I think I read it. And he gives me a long, long lecture about what I need to do and what I should do, blah, 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 blah. He said, oh, yeah, I used to be your biggest fan. Now I don't listen anymore. Finally, I got sick of it, and I said, hey, do me a favor. Take your soft-spoken, friendly bullshit and stick it up your ass. Well, he comes out of the woodwork again yesterday. Zane, you have so much potential, but... So this is back in April when I told him to stick it up his ass. I wrote, remember that part where I told you to stick it up your ass? Get the fuck out of here. So folks don't like it. They're pissed off at me that I'm talking about something interesting on that show. And as I talked about yesterday, after she made her big announcement that, hey, I'm divorced and he left me. He moved out west and that wasn't my cup of tea. That's essentially all she said. Hey, I moved out west. So now that's news. That's news in our little corner of entertainment between that show and my show. My show's this much, teeny tiny. Their show is this much. But there's no mistaking the fact that I share audience with them. So this is something to talk about. The same way we talked about Joe. The same way we talk about anything that goes on that show. We're here for the gossip. We do give a shit. We want to hear. That's human nature. So when the corn dog queen makes a big announcement, hey, I'm divorced, he left me, I didn't want to go. I'm like, well, that seems real simple. Now, that doesn't really match up with what she said to me when she reached out to me when I first mentioned it in April. I mean, it was a desperate woman who was reaching out to me, and she indicated scared for her life. So I'm like, wow, okay, weird. Upon the big announcement, first person I called was the ex. Hello, Ross, Eric Zane Show podcast, news hound, news reporter, looking for comment in response to Kelly Cheese's big announcement that she is divorced. Do you have any comment? His response, I don't listen to that shit. What did she say? You left her. You moved out west. That's it. Okay. Now, if I go into detail any further about the discussion between him and I'm not comfortable with that. Okay? I don't have anything personal against Kelly whatsoever. Nothing. I think she's talented. But dude knows now what went on the show yesterday and the night before on their Vlan. And all I know is that he said he has some thinking to do. I thought to myself as I spoke with him, I think this guy needs like an explanation about where I'm coming from. And by the way, I said, do you want to be on my show? And I threw that out there. I go, yeah, I'll definitely put you on my show if you want to say anything, and the invitation goes to her too. And I made it 100% clear why I'm doing this. I'll read to you what I wrote. Ross, just so that we're on the same page, so you know why I approached you. I hate Greg. I have no ill will towards anyone on that show except him. But if I can do anything to undermine Greg, I will. Even if that means talking about this. That's why I'm doing this. If that serves you, great. If not, no problem at all. Of course, there's the fact that I pointed out to you that this is of great interest to a large portion of my audience who listens to my show and their show. You're interested. So it all works out. Who gives a fuck what the motivations are? Honestly, if Greg and I were on the same page, I wouldn't do any of this shit. I'd just keep my mouth shut. But fuck that guy. I will read this from Ross. And I don't know why, but he says, I share the same opinion of Greg. So I already feel like this guy's my goddamn spirit animal. Tell you what, if somebody doesn't like Greg and they come to me, then we got to talk. All right? That's how I feel. I am a little bit leery about saying too much. I already know more than I probably already should about the ins and outs of this because of my investigation. But if this story was just, yeah, he left me because he wanted to move out west, well, that's a boring fucking story that I'm not interested in. However, I'm very interested in this story. But it is not my story to tell. So I wait. If I'm given the opportunity, or if Ross says, "Yeah, I'd like to discuss this, and here's why," I'd be like, "Goddamn right, fucking the stage is yours, by all means." Chris says their show has 30 share, easy 30 people. There is a crossover. Chris K talks about the people who reach out to me with the, "Hey, I'm coming to you as a friend, man. You got to knock this off." Yeah, exactly. That's what that was. Cole says, did they even make it a year? The relationship lasted 7 months, and you were told by her, yeah, he wanted to move west, and he left me. That's the story you were told. Patrick says, I love how you operate, Zane. Well, honestly, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just basically, I'm curious. I don't, I think there's always something more that needs to be told. And I'm here for it. I guess she just had celebrated, it would have been a 1 year anniversary celebration just the other day for her. Donut Dan says there are always two sides to every story. Correct. Jeremy says, I have a feeling there's more to this story. A father of 2 kids doesn't just up and leave. I hope more comes out. He is gone, by the way. He has, I don't know where he is. I didn't ask. I didn't want to ask too many questions. Basically, the extent of our interaction was me saying, hey, do you have any comment? Him saying, what did she say? I said, hang on. I'll send it to you, which I did. And then he went, well, now I'm pissed. So there you go. And he said, I must think. I said, do your thing. I go, obviously no pressure on my part. If you want to talk, you can. If you don't want to talk, you can. Whatever you feel. It doesn't matter to me. I just throw this shit out there and people make their own decisions. But the amount of it's remarkable. Especially my favorite place to go is the Freeburn Outwing Show subreddit. I swear to God. I am not allowed even to post on there. I'm banned. But there's always something that they have to say about your old pal EZ. This person says Zane called Ross and they had a conversation about the divorce. It was discussed in the opening of Zane's show today. Thank you for listening. This person says there are two sides to every story. With that being said, I do love Kelly. I wish she would go rogue on the show and let it rip like I know she can. Oh, I believe you. I don't think that would be a good move for Kelly to let it rip. I think what Kelly did was she kept the divorce discussion vague as to what actually happened. I think she would have been better served if she just said, ladies and gentlemen, I am no longer married and I am not going to talk about this anymore. I'm sad, but I'm going to move on. If she had left it there, I think she would have been okay. Because even if I had taken that audio and sent it to Ross like I did, he would have said, well, she didn't say anything. She just said we're divorced. My point is, I think she said too much. Because I think if she explains it on the air one way, and it in any way makes Ross look bad, you run the risk of pissing this guy off. Zane has an unhealthy obsession with the Freeburn Hot Wings show. This person says this. It's super gross. What the fuck do you mean it's gross? It's fucking amazing is what it is. The only time anybody ever listens to what I have to say is when I'm talking about this shit. I mean, I got my diehards. I got my couple dozen diehards who are here every single day. Thank you. But the only time I get anybody really paying attention to me is when I'm fucking talking about this shit. So go fuck yourself. I get being angry and bitter for a few years. The whole situation sucked. Yeah, all of that shit 8 years ago has nothing to do with this. Okay? Nothing. What happened is well after the fact. Greg stabbed me in the back again, which has led to, all right, I'm just now going to declare war. I am now, it's guerrilla warfare at this point. That's all this is. It has nothing to do with the initial firing. This person can't help themselves, says, did anything interesting come out of the conversation? Yes. Zane talked about it for a good 20 minutes to open the show. There should be some follow-up as the story unfolds. Zane spoke to Kelly a month or two ago and said he wouldn't speculate about this topic. But now it's public, so it can be discussed. So our initial conversation, Kelly and I, on this show, I was simply saying, hey, what's going on over there? Something's happening. There's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of scuttle. There's, and I didn't even believe it at first. And I talked about this yesterday, how someone from their own fan page tagged her on Facebook and said, hey, Eric Zane titled his show that Freeburn Owings Where Marriage Goes to Die. And it is. We all know that. Well, she saw that at Rector Day, and then she reached out to me. I went ahead and took all of these portions of the conversation that she sent me and sent it off to my man. Because the thing she said in this goddamn, messenger exchange didn't really add up in my head. All right? When I first got him in April. So I didn't believe it right then that there was that what she was telling me was true. I just didn't believe her. But to avoid, fuck it. I said, if you're going to reach out to me and ask me politely to not talk about it, that's fine. I can do that. I can honor that. But it kind of gets different and weird when I kind of feel like you were lying to me when you said all the shit that you said. And now I believe it even more after sharing it with him. In fact, what she did to me, talking about him, is libel. Hazmat says, me talking about this, it's the only reason we know who you are, LOL. Oh, it's so true. I mean, that show is what made me who I am. That's the only reason why I've got my 2 or 3 dozen people who show up here every day. All right? Or download the audio podcast. Jeremy says, Kelly can't say much. Ross is a lawyer, and any sort of truth stretching could get her into some trouble legally. David describes it as more gaslighting. Yeah, the way she made it sound to me was that Ross said, all right, take down all the pictures, take off your wedding ring, or else that's going to be it for you. Like she wrote to me how scared she was. And I'm like, wait a minute. If it's just a divorce, why the fuck would you agree to that? My first thought was he's got something on her. My first thought, back then in April, he's got something on you. If you're not careful, he's going to tell everybody what he's got on you. So shut the fuck up. Bob writes, but aren't we supposed to believe everything women say? And that's the thing. If I find out that you lied to me, too, if that's all bullshit, and I was told it was by the other party, I think you and Ross need to be on this show at the same time. I think you actually need to be in this room with me. Ashley says people get scared when they aren't being truthful and lawyers are involved. Yeah, you should know. People like you and me, Easy, don't give a fuck because we are honest. Patrick says Kelly is coming across as a manipulator. Well, I kind of felt that way. I tell you what, I went into my phone call with Ross thinking this guy's going to be a fucking psychopath. He couldn't have been more calm, measured, and polite with your old pal EZ. We may never hear another thing about this. But if there is something to be said, rest assured, it'll be right here. I think she fucked up when she said, oh, yeah, he left me and moved out west, and I didn't want to do that. I think she would have been better served to simply say, ladies and gentlemen, I am now divorced. I didn't anticipate this happening, and I'm so sad. Thank you for your thoughts, but I'm just going to close the book and move on. No problem. But if you were to look at their Segment 18 page and their Reddit, and everybody is throwing Ross under the bus. Fuck Ross. Fuck Ross is a dick. Fuck him. Fuck that. Fuck you. And, okay, you kind of brought that on. And if that's the case, he might get pissed off enough to want to respond. And please see me. Come see me. All right. Well, that's where we are. Outside of that, I don't think there's going to be anything else that we need to discuss about it. Because I don't think anything's going to happen unless if there's more fucking these goddamn simps who come out of the woodwork and attack me. And fuck that. I'm not taking that shit. No way. All right. That concludes the drama-filled portion of the Eric Zane Show podcast. So glad you're here. I appreciate it. There was one chick, though, who, she pissed me off. Danielle Garbo. On one of my posts, your days must be pretty mundane. If you have nothing better to do than meddle in people's personal lives. Sounds like you need to get one of your own. I responded with, thanks, little girl. Run along, please. Ashley is third bitch in the ring. She writes to this idiot, is it meddling in someone's personal life if that person shares the information on a public platform? Zane has a very big life, like 6 jobs, and the only person not divorced, plus all that, and he owns a hot tub. I said, damn right. If she talks about it, it's fair game. Hashtag hot tub summer. Bitch writes, maybe take a dip into that hot tub of yours and try to soak off some of your pent-up resentment that's clearly eating away at you. I've heard Epsom salt is great for a grudge. I said, I hear a bag is great for your face. Beat it. Casey says, while I don't always agree with you, the things you do, I get why you do it. With that being said, how do you not listen before calling someone to comment about what you haven't listened to? It's a great point. I thought about that. But I was fairly certain, based on the comments that I said, of people regurgitating exactly what Corn Dog Queen said, that's basically all I needed to say. Yeah, she said you left her and you moved out west. And that was exactly what she said. Chris says, I like that one that said the Queen of the Forest. There was a guy on there, because somebody said, it might have been Chris, and yeah, Zane's the only one still married. And some loser said, yeah, I bet you she cowers to him. And I'm like, are you kidding me? An Irish redhead? There's no cowering to her. There's no cowering to me. I cower to her. Holy fuck. Her cower to me? Me. You lost your goddamn mind. All right. Ashley says the Queen of the Forest runs the show, you idiot. Oh, boy, does she. By the way, I interacted with her brother. If she's the Queen of the Forest, would that make her brother in the monarchy? Well, first of all, I can't call myself the King of the Forest. You know how, like, when the Queen of England, when the Queen, the one who was what the fuck, Prince Charles' mom, wasn't her husband known as Prince Andrew, right? No, I'm getting that wrong. Anyway, the Queen, her husband, he was known as Prince what's-his-fuck. I'm that guy. I'm just eye candy. I just go around and like cut fucking ribbons and shit. So when it comes to the succession, that would mean that I guess if something were to happen to Pooh Bear, the NFK would then be the King of the Forest. I'm not sure. Blue State Rob says, I don't know what goes on behind the fourth wall, but EZ and Queen of the Forest appear to have a pretty healthy marriage given what they've gone through. Oh, that's true. Prince Philip, that's the guy. And then he says, oh, yeah, and fuck Greg. I forgot that part. Supercell says that the NFK is like Scar from The Lion King. So lately, he's been really talking to himself a lot. I think he's starting to go wacko or something. But he comes walking through the kitchen. I'm talking quieter now because I don't want anybody to hear me. He comes walking through the kitchen. And I notice he's got a big bruise on his arm. And he goes, he's stomping and muttering. I go, hey, buddy, did you hurt yourself? And he has a way where, like, 95% of his conversations, he sounds like he's pissed off. You know? Kind of like the way he talks to the TV and tells it to go fuck itself. And sometimes that manifests. So he's walking away from me, and I ask him a direct question. Hey, buddy, did you hurt yourself? He's got this long-ass bruise. And his response, I see his back. He just turns his head slightly. Doesn't even take the time to stop and have a conversation with me. Still walking. He goes, a bruise easily, dude. Like that way, that tone. A bruise easily, dude. And I'm like, well, you know, okay, cocksucker. But I just wondered what happened. I said, hey, did you hurt yourself, buddy? I'm showing concern, empathy, a conversation. And I get, a bruise easily, dude. And I'm like, why don't you go fuck yourself? I don't give a fuck who lobotomized you. You don't fucking talk to me that way. I'm fucking Prince Philip here. So I go upstairs and I go, yeah, I think your brother's losing it. Why? And I tell her, and she goes, yeah, I don't know. Story of my life. Actually reach out, say, hey, you okay? And I get my nose shoved in shit. Question about Freeburn Hot Wings. How do they have ratings? They put zero effort in every show, exactly the same thing every day. I explained this before. They only have ratings in Grand Rapids. That's all they're really concerned with. They might do pretty well in Nashville, Tennessee, and or Albany, New York, and or the Jersey Shore. But that's it. Green Bay, I take it back. So, yeah, I started saying just one, but there's actually a handful of markets where they do quite well. On a lot of those, when you build up a show, like let's say you watch The Simpsons for 15 years, and you love that show because of its comedy. And then the writing changes, and for the next 5 years, it's not so good anymore till it becomes shitty. You're still watching it, though. That's like a heritage show. That's what's going on. Don't forget about Meathead, Easy. Thank you, Chris. If you have a question, send it along. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. I've done a horrible job of promoting Dear Meathead. I got a video the other day from Charity Scam Mike of my dad. And he got pissed off. They're having a conversation, and how old do you feel? I don't know, 70, 75? And Mike goes, Charity Scam Mike goes, you're 90. He goes, what? He goes, yeah, you're 90 years old. And he was pissed. He was pissed about that. He was like, 90? The poor guy. Let's bring him in for Dear Meathead. Thank you, Chris, for the reminder.
Hello.
Hola, señorita.
Are you still here? I thought you were going to Maine.
Oh, no, I'm not going to leave until Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how are you guys?
We're doing good.
So I'm on the show right now. I figured I'd call. I didn't want to surprise you and then you say something and not realize we were on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Today's not Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. Holy cow.
Oh my gosh, I lost a day. I was thinking it was Tuesday.
After you said it, I thought, wait a minute, maybe she is right.
Good thing you told me what day it is.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did you have any appointments you had to do or anything like that?
No. I was setting something up with some of my girlfriends because they want me to go to lunch with them. And
oh, okay.
I take your daddy with me, and he makes them laugh while we eat.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So it's you and your girlfriends and him.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I would love that.
Let me get him, honey.
Okay.
He's upstairs.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Yeah, take your time.
Your meathead today. Come down here.
He's like, wait, what?
He's on the air right now. Mm. All right. Would you mind moving it?
Hey, you want me to call back?
You want to call back?
Yeah, I'm going to call you back.
Oh, he said just hold on, but I don't know. His hold on takes a little time.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you regroup, and I'll call you in a few minutes.
Okay, honey.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. See ya.
Bye-bye.
That buys us some time. Yeah, we might be here for an hour. He doesn't necessarily move that quick, you know? Nathan has a question. Thank you, Nathan. Looks like Rodney has a question, has a Dear Meathead question. If you have a question for Dad, send it along. Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners striping inbox. That is a Tim Mayer joint. I think Tim Mayer is in the Michigan State University Sports Hall of Fame. Like, if you were to walk through the athletic office, they've got, like, I don't know if it's Sports Hall of Fame or Spartans in the Olympics. And there's, like, a plaque with Timmy Mayer's name on it. That is the guy behind Shoreliners striping. About a year ago, I introduced Timmy Mayer to Hurricane Ashley on this show. And I think they're still good friends. But Ashley really wants to be, like, married to him. So I hope that happens. Kuipers says it doesn't take much to get into the Spartans Hall of Fame. Holy shit, that's rough. Chris says, do you think that your dad busts out the butterfly collars and the gold medallion for those lunches with the ladies? Oh, my God, I would. That'd be great. He's hilarious. He's a charmer. My dad is a charmer. Chris says, I had ads pop up during the start of the call. What happened? Well, subscribe, ding dong. And then the other thing is, he wasn't ready, so I'm going to call him back. So when there's ads, can you, like, see my face? Or does that totally disappear and then an ad just shows up? I've never done that, obviously, because I don't watch my own show. He says, yeah, you can see video, just no audio. So it's not a video ad, it's just an audio ad? Chris says, we need Lonely Nick to come back and gift subs. Oh, that poor son of a bitch. He paid thousands of dollars. He lost thousands of dollars. He is bad with his money. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, ease up. Sign up for Amazon Prime and you get a subscription to my show free. Supercell says, I got straight up video ad. All right, I'm going to kick some of you out that are watching on Facebook, X, and YouTube. See ya. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Follow me on those platforms. Follow me on YouTube as well. Instagram. Thank you. And again, send me an email, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, if you want to say hi. The audio podcast is available for download as soon as this is over, wherever you download shows. Just pick your favorite platform, search Eric Zane Show Podcast, and there I am. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can sign up for bonus content, $5 or $10 a month. $5 a month is all the audio. $10 a month is audio, video, live streams. And you can sign up for 7 days free. That's easy enough to do. 7 days free. And I suggest you sign up for the 7 days free. Go ahead and cancel it afterwards, like right after, and you still get the 7 days free. I do that so that you don't inadvertently get charged in case you do not like what I have to offer on my Patreon. But if you do and want to keep it going past 7 days, then just sign up again and throw the $5 or $10 a month at it. Or if you're like, I know I'm going to like it, just sign up and enjoy it. You'll get 7 days free, and then the subscription will charge you right after the 7 days. All right. Thanks to Berlin Raceway. They sponsor this show. You can head to their website, berlinraceway.com, for tickets for the upcoming races on Saturday. Such a great time. They got a fantastic bar there in the grandstand with a band playing right after the races finish up. So you get there, you pregame, you go see the races, you hang out at the bar. It is a fantastic night out at Berlin and really affordable, too. Tickets are just $14, 15 and under, free. And parking is free at berlinraceway.com. If you buy the tickets online, they're $14. If you buy them in person, they're like $18. I got an email from a A&E heating and cooling customer. Subject line, local AC hero mumbles Spanish slur when frightened by dog. I was like, what? A person named Joe Michaels, reached out to me. Easy. About a week or so ago, the hottest week of the year so far, our AC took a dump. I called the boys over at A&E, and they were out in no time. Upon inspection of the unit, we determined it was time to replace it. I appreciated Joe's no-pressure approach so much I had them replace the AC and the furnace. Joe was all over it. He provided the best price around for both units. The guys came back, and they did the work without any issues. They are the real deal. And what I appreciated more than anything is the price they gave me up front is the price they stuck to. Nothing changed, even though they had to drill a vent hole and do some extra work. I will forever be a customer. On the day of the install, my wife was trying to sneak our dog out of our house so he wouldn't distract the guys while installing. Senor Martinez walked inside. He didn't realize he was standing in the hallway and for some reason was caught off guard and about jumped to the ceiling muttering, Dios mío! Which I think that means, my God! Sounds like Dios mío! Don't make me laugh. It hurts to laugh. Sounds like they had a good laugh in the end. Thanks again for the recommendation, and the guys at A&E, they are the best. Joe wrote, and I sent that off to him. And he responded with, yeah, I thought I was going to meet my maker that day. Scared the living shit out of me.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
You should have dropped that on the dog. Told the dog to go fuck himself. Or if you dropped,
Lame mi palo con tu culo.
Lame mi palo con tu culo. And told the dog to suck your dick with its butt.
Lame mi palo con tu culo.
I wonder if, because it sounds like Joe got tripped up a little bit when he said that.
Lame mi palo con tu culo.
Because he says, lame mi, and then he has to kind of like think about it.
Lame mi
palo
con
tu culo.
tu culo.
I wonder if there's ever been a time in the history of Mexico that someone said, yeah, suck my dick with your butt. Because that's what he's saying right there. All right. Kuiper says, before going to Berlin, always check race times. He's talking about me. I know what you're doing there. Shut up, Kuipers. Get your bowl cut. All right, let's bring Dad in here.
Hello.
It's showtime.
Lay on me, my man.
How's it going, Dad?
All right. How about you?
Doing okay. Word on the street is you were you and Joanne went to see Mike and Liz.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Mike was telling me about a conversation you guys had that about you said you only feel like you're 70 years old.
He does.
I believe that.
Well, aren't I supposed to be 70?
You might give or take a year or two. You know,
Up or down?
maybe a year or two up. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. All that matters, that's just a number. All you need to do, because to me, you're like a 65-year-old guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I really feel good, man.
You sound good. You always sound very bright and energetic.
Well, okay, thank you. God bless you. So what's in your neighborhood?
Well, I'm getting ready, Dad. We're going on a trip to the great state of Maine in a couple of days.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so Lobster Town. We're going to be eating lobster like everything. Lobster cereal, lobster sandwiches.
So you're just going there because of the food?
Well, that's part of it. I think it's a very scenic part of the country because
I see.
Yeah, this park is like right on the ocean.
Wow, that's nice. That really is nice.
Way up there in New England. And there's like a beautiful small little city there called Bar Harbor, which is supposed to be a wonderful tourist destination. So, it'll be Diana and myself and my daughter Jackie and her husband Justin.
Oh, that would be nice.
That'd be nice, honey.
I want to bring as many people as I can, but last year I brought Madison as well, our daughter Madison, and Jackie and Madison, all they did was fight.
What the hell's the matter with them?
Well, they're sisters. You know how like Nikki and Elizabeth used to always get in arguments?
Yeah.
They're like that. They are Nikki and Elizabeth.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. They just can't stop fighting. So we made a decision that they can no longer be together when we go on trips. So next year we're going to take Madison and Jackie can't go.
All right.
Yeah.
And Jim and Aubrey and the kids, they never want to go. We always invite them. Hey, you want to go? No. I'm like, well, all right, it'll be fun. Oh, we can't. We this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, all right, all I can do is ask. That's all you can do,
You were better off without them because that's a bad feeling when sisters or brothers always fight.
I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Well,
just put them just lock them up in a room so go ahead and start fighting.
Yeah, I cannot imagine what it was like back in the day when you would take us on long trips by car.
I don't remember if we fought.
I remember we had to when we'd go up north, and we'd start fighting because there was nothing to do in the car.
Absolutely.
And so
you actually had a fight?
Well, we would bicker with each other, and then that would get on the driver's nerves, and then you're like, "Look, you guys are fighting, and you're taking away valuable drinking time."
You remember all that?
Oh yeah, I remember driving to Florida in a Chevy Vega.
Oh yeah. Do you remember something about
There's a lot of family in Vegas.
Yeah, it was Eric, Jim, Mom, Dad, and Mom was a handful.
Was she really?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm glad you don't recall. But there were some moments.
I don't.
No, it was a real headache. It was ugly, and then so that got weird, and then Jim and I would start fighting. So it's got Mom and Dad in the front seat, Jim and Eric in the back. So it was a war.
Two-way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But anyway, those, I look back on those. Those are the things. Though it was weird at the time, we can laugh about it now. That's like the best part about it.
Oh yeah, it was nothing. No. I know what it is. When a fight like that starts, it just takes away everything out of you.
Oh yeah, and then somebody gets more pissed than the other one, and they want some revenge.
Yeah.
It's ugly. Yeah, I just try to keep my mouth shut, you know?
Yeah. Do you know how it would be like all of your kids grew up, were born like 10 years old?
Oh. Well, I mean, are you saying like what it would be like if they were all that age?
Start off that way.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, I'd leave. I'd never come back.
Yeah, but you can probably control it.
Well, that was the only thing that saved me when my kids were that age. I was like, this is temporary. They're going to grow up and not, but that I'm still waiting for that to happen. You know, I got one and I got one who's 30 and the other one's 28, and I'm still waiting for them to grow up.
They still fight?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, even to this day, it's like, what is going on here, you people? Come on. Ah, well.
Oh, hey, you know what? Lock them up in different rooms.
Exactly. Lock them up in different rooms. That's sage advice. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, and feed them, send the food out there and eat it, and then get the hell out there and go somewhere else.
Yeah. Totally. All right. I got a question from Nathan here. Nathan writes, Dear Meathead, my 13-year-old daughter, when we are out in public, she has a bad mouth and she swears in public. And Nathan wants to know how you would handle that. Like if you're out with a 13-year-old child and the child is, saying has horrible language.
I don't know, but I think I could easily be wrong that this is the right thing to do. You ought to smack them.
Well,
they opened their mouth and they went with a little cuss word.
Yeah.
You smack them. Wow.
Yeah, that's like old school, you know?
Yeah, that's the way I grew up.
Yeah, I remember. And I knew that there was a real penalty to talking like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do not talk that way at all.
Now, yeah.
I don't know where these kids are coming from. In fact, you're the second person that mentioned that to me.
Okay.
That, what's with kids? They're not kids. 14 years old, 15.
If they're allowed to swear,
Yeah, I think that the kids realize that the punishment isn't so bad if they get in trouble for that. So, it's still worth it to them to do what they want to do. And, now...
You got to be serious.
Yeah, nowadays, if you do that, though, you can get in big trouble if you crack the kid across the face.
Yeah, bullshit.
Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, all right. So...
you got to smack the shit out of them.
Smack the shit out of them, you say?
Yeah. Well, this really gets me upset.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it, All right, let me...
Joanne thought my mouth is getting...
Oh, hey, I like that fire. You got some emotion in you.
I'm going to smack him across the mouth.
Well, it's one thing if an adult says it, but...
If you're going to swear in front of your kids, then you're getting what you deserve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you shouldn't be doing that.
That's what you do. Okay, I guess the lesson here is say, hey, we don't talk like that around this house.
Not under any circumstances at all.
So you can't talk like that, and for your punishment, here you go, and then crack right in the face.
Yeah. Tell them another one is on the way if you do it again.
Okay. All right. That's all I got. Well, I had one from Randy here, but I haven't been able to preview it, so I can't really figure out what the hell he wants me to ask you. But I'll tell you what. I'll read it. He writes, Dear Meathead.
Okay.
My wife really wants to get a new kitchen table.
Okay.
The old one is a mess. It's got a lot of scratches. I just suggested she put a tablecloth on it. But she was not happy with that. He says money is not an issue. And the table still works just fine. It's just got a bunch of scratches on it. And a tablecloth would easily cover up the scratches. Am I completely wrong for suggesting the tablecloth? Or should I just bite the bullet and let her go buy a brand new kitchen table?
I go with the second comment that you just made. Get a new table.
Yeah,
Money is not the issue.
Okay. Money's not the issue. But if money were the issue, maybe that's a good idea?
Yes.
It's a great idea.
Okay, but money's not the issue, so just keep her happy. Happy wife, happy life. That thing, right?
In fact, I don't understand why he does not want to be like his wife.
Yeah, just go with it. Why do you have to ask that question, Randy?
We'll
Randy.
have a nice looking table and replace it.
Okay. All right, well, there you go, Randy. Just relax. No big deal. Get the table and call it a day. That's advice from Joanne and Dad and me.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me check the email, see if anyone has come in with a late question on Dear Meathead. I think we're looking good. I just want to go back and make sure I got this.
Okay.
According to Dad, if that kid is swearing like a sailor, you got to smack the shit out of him.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody loves you guys. Take it easy. And as always, another spectacular edition of Dear Meathead.
Well, thanks for your call. I appreciate that. And I want to say hello to everyone that is listening to this.
Well, they love you. You know they love you.
Okay. I love them back.
Okay, guys, you have a great day.
You bet.
Okay, see ya.
Honey.
Have a good trip, by the way.
Thank you. I'll be thinking of you.
All right, honey.
Okay, much love.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. Dear Meathead. Boy, he got wound up on the swearing child question. Yeah, I don't know if you can get away with that these days. Smack the shit out of your kid. I think that's a problem. Like, I think if you were to smack the shit out of your kid, you could end up going to jail. Like, when I grew up, if I called the cops on my dad for smacking the shit out of me, the cop would show up and smack the shit out of me. Show Mom says kids swearing just isn't the biggest deal to me. There are many more awful things than swearing. Kenny writes, I love that the question involves swearing, and he said shit in his advice. Supercell writes, he still sounds pretty sharp. Chris says, reminds me of the BBL days when he said, quote, why don't you smack your wife around? I think Ben has it as a drop. LOL. I think you're right. Why don't you smack your wife around? Oh, my God. 90 years old. I got him down for ultimately taking a dirt nap at about 108, which would make me 71. Can you imagine if I'm 71 years old in this room doing Dear Meathead with my 108-year-old father? Holy shit. I sometimes entertain myself wondering what the future will be like. Like, what will I be doing? Because, though I behave like a child most of the time, I mean, like, I can't possibly be doing this for that much longer, right? I mean, I guess there's no reason why I couldn't or wouldn't. But, you know, I expect people who are 60 years old to be like walking around as like a greeter at Walmart or something retired. And here I'll be telling people to go fuck themselves. I think that as I get older, there's something classic about, hey, go fuck yourself. The older I get. It's kind of like the Iron Sheik, the pro wrestler. Everybody loved to hear that guy tell people to go fuck themselves. That's what I'm banking on. That there might be some growth in the podcast to hear some old fuck tell people to fuck off. You could join the signing greeter at Meijer and then talk about it on Twitch after. Look, I may be 53 going on 73, but I'm hip as shit, okay? Young people want to be me. This is true. I'm not even fucking bullshitting. My attitude is so fucking sweet. I have an attitude that is such a I don't give a fuck about anything attitude. People are like, God damn it, man. He's living his best life. That is sweet. She ain't gonna hawk to her till you get the new table. Oh, God. I got something outrageously funny concerning that. Who sent me that? Thank you for the reminder. I have to get this now. Where did I see it, though? And who sent it? Was it Chris D? No. Who the fuck sent me that? Sorry, but I got to look for it right now. Okay, I found it. Thank you for shopping at Meijer. The greeter, I don't remember that. I remember talking about it, but I don't remember it. The singing greeter and the guy who tells everyone to fuck off. It's a nice balance. Oh, the singing greeter. Yeah, whatever happened to the singing greeter? Is he dead? All right. This is another fucking thing concerning Hawk Tua. Audio check, video check. Here we go.
Man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
What is your best move in bed?
Ooh, that's a nice one, isn't it?
Okay, so these are old people. Like my age.
Me on top.
Yeah. You on top?
Yes, I'm on top. I'm the boss.
And you like it, sir? Oh, God. Yeah. Absolutely. Love it. Have you been married or?
We're married now for 25 years.
Any tips for us young guys?
Yeah, make sure your mum's got good tits. They're very firm. Make sure your fella's got a big cock.
Yeah.
And make sure it's hard all the time.
So, and how do you make it hard to begin with?
Oh, I don't need to. He just looks at my tits and my fanny and it just goes bang, it's up.
What's one move?
Jesus Christ. Make sure he's got a good cock. I gotta watch
Move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
Her laugh cracks me up, by the way.
What is your best move in bed?
Ooh, that's a nice one, isn't it? Me on top.
Yeah. You on top?
Yes, I'm on top. I'm the boss.
And you like it, sir? Oh, God. Yeah. Absolutely. Love it. Have you been married or?
We're married now for 25 years.
Any tips for us young guys?
Yeah, make sure your mum's got good tits. They're very
Make sure your mom's got good tits.
firm. Make sure your fella's got a big cock.
Make sure your fella's got a big cock.
Yeah.
And make sure it's hard all the time.
So, and how do you make it hard to begin with?
Oh, I don't need to. He just looks at my tits and my fanny and it just goes bang, it's up.
Thank you, Rodney, for sending that one along. Chris talks about Hawk Tuah when she says, he writes, it's her goddamn southern accent when she says, you getting me? He says, so hot. By the way, really happy that my neighbor's mowing his lawn right outside of my window. That's fucking great. Thank you, sir. Public Radio Dave, I don't know if I could get hard by a woman who calls it a fanny. All right. Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. I can't believe she got fired for that, says Tophus. Yeah, that's not true. A lot of people are running with the story that Hawk Tuah chick got fired. She did not get fired. That is not true. Megan says confirmed fanny is a vag in England. Okay. A couple other things I want to get to today. So, where we live is in the heart of Christian Reformed Church. All right? Or Dutch Reformed. And like most churches, you can't be gay. And they had a discussion about this. Every year they have an event called the Synod, where the leaders of all these Christian Reformed churches get together and they discuss things like doctrine. All right. And one of the things that came up was gay people. And they vote as to what they're going to uphold, whatever. So they said that if you're the denomination voted to make it a stance that if you are gay or you support gay people, if your church supports gay people, you have to leave. Like, denounce that and repent or leave to these churches. Like, some of these churches are a little bit more progressive, and they're like, well, I hate to tell you this, but we're all God's children, so let's kind of like, and the CRC is like, no, fuck you, you have to leave, and so they drop the hammer. There's two stories about this synod. As my neighbor makes another pass, thank you, that's great, but this is that story. And by the way, I love hair like that.
Churches in West Michigan could leave the Christian Reformed Church denomination. That's after the group's annual assembly this week, or synod, and a decision involving the LGBTQ community. Delegates met at Calvin University. They voted 2 years ago during the synod to uphold their position that same-sex relationships...
See this one, Sherman Street Christian Reformed Church. We've got a, what do you call it? LGBTQ plus flag sticker. That's no good. They'd get kicked out. They'd have to leave. They'd have to repent or leave.
During the synod to uphold their position that same-sex relationships are sinful, and said anyone in a church office must share that belief. Members of the synod voted this week.
It's sinful, and everyone in the church office, they must feel that way. Does that not sound like the most brainwashed, backward thing on the fucking planet?
Members of the...
You know how many other things that are sinful and just in the eyes of I guess, religion or Jesus, that sin is sin? I mean, to actually take that one and say, oh, no, well, that one. I mean, half of these fucking people are divorced, which, according to the Bible, that's just as much of an abomination as the post-1946 edited Bible, which that's true, by the way. Prior to 1946, there was no mention of homosexuality in the Bible. post 1946. They changed it. They changed the translation to match, I guess. Some asshole did that.
Synod voted this week that any LGBTQ affirming churches must publicly repent or disaffiliate.
What the fuck? Can you believe that these grown adults, 10 miles from where I sit, was like, yeah, they have to publicly denounce the gays.
Leaders with Sherman Street CRC in Grand Rapids plan to leave the denomination because of that decision. They held a lament service yesterday.
If I was in charge of that church, I would start the next service with dick sucking right there. Dick sucking, man on man, butt fucking right there. Chick 69 festival on the cross. All right. I would do that and then video it and post it for free for the world to see.
And a delegate who was...
And say, this is our CRC church.
At the service told us this process is painful.
This affiliation is not a simple process for many individuals who have been so deeply rooted in the denomination, and the denomination has been a beautiful place to
hate
to be. It's
she's pro-gay though, by the way. I should make that clear.
It's just changing, and with change comes, sorrow and shifting.
The CRC Church released a statement saying in part, quote, "We hurt because part of our body is hurting, and we pray that the clarity that has been established will help us move forward."
What kind of a statement is that? We hurt because part of our body is hurting, and we pray that the clarity that has been established will help us move forward. I would have more respect for the Christian Reformed Church if they said, we hate the gays. What a...
The City Custom...
Fuck, that's loud. Isn't that gross? Then they doubled down. There is a deacon at one of their fucking churches that's in a same-sex relationship.
Christian Reformed Church Synod wrapped up today. 184 delegates from across the U.S. and Canada came together to debate ongoing issues, particularly same-sex marriage, facing the theologically conservative denomination. One of the topics of discussion, a church right here in Grand Rapids. News 8's Taylor Morris has more. Taylor?
Brian, the emotional 6-day meeting took place at Calvin University in Grand Rapids in West Michigan. There are more than 1,000 congregations that are a part of the CRC. Earlier today, the Synod discussed the actions of Neelan Avenue CRC of Grand Rapids after the church ordained a deacon who is in a same-sex marriage. Neelan Avenue Christian Reformed Church.
So there's a person from Neelan Avenue at this fucking synod. Can you imagine? It's like, oh, shit, here we go. They actually start to discuss it right there in front of everyone.
Sits on the corner of Neeland Avenue between Watkins and Alexander Streets on the city's southeast side. Last year, the Council for the Grand Rapids Church appealed an order from the denomination to remove from office a deacon in a same-sex marriage. On Thursday, according to a tweet made by the CRC, the Synod passed a motion not to sustain Neeland's appeal.
Here's our recommendation: that Synod not sustain Neelan Avenue CRC's appeal. The church order clearly stipulates that only those who meet the biblical requirements are eligible to serve as office bearers in the Christian Reformed Church.
Oh, this is so gross.
Neelan Avenue evidences the work of the Spirit. They are alive, they are growing, their life and vision is bearing good fruit. How can we deny them?
Pastor for Neelan, Joel Demore, says this year's Synod...
Fuck, if I'm Neelan and they're debating this, I go up to that microphone and I say, fuck you, you motherfuckers. Fuck off and die. That's what I say. Oh, we don't need you, you fucks.
It has been, quote, a lot to process. Demore provided a statement from the deacon at Neeland who is in a same-sex marriage. She has since finished her term. She said, quote, "We feel safe at Neeland and will definitely stay involved and engaged with Neeland, even though our official duties are finished for now. Neeland is our family, and it's so exciting to see many new people are joining our church because they see how supportive and welcoming the people there are. Earlier today, people at the synod also spoke out about the committee's decision to deny the church's appeal.
You know one thing about our deacon. You know one thing. You don't know her. How could you? She's a member of our congregation, our church, and it has always been the council and the congregation that makes these decisions.
In a report by the CRC committee, it states, "We believe that the actions of Neeland Avenue CRC have disrespected and disregarded the deliberation and decisions of our corporate body and therefore are breaking a covenant." Now that the appeal has been denied.
This is so bad. This is an embarrassment. This is where I live.
Denied by CRC, it is still undecided what the next steps will be. Brian?
You know, that enrages me. This is so stupid. Why do we even have fucking denominations in the first place? Give me a fucking break. Chris says, "Thou shalt not allow rump rangers in said churches." God, I hate these assholes. Who gives a fuck what sexuality someone is? Stevie says there's no love like Christian hate. Yeah, Christians are fucking animals. CRC, Catholics, these are horrible individuals. That was me for a period of time. Again, it took me a while, but I finally got it beaten over my head when God said to me, "All right, Easy, I'm really disgusted." He sent me a message. He talked to me. He said, "Easy, I'm really disgusted with organized religion. And you're part of the problem. You're over there with these Catholics, and these Catholics are like, fuck the gay people. This is what I'm going to do. Your daughter is going to become a shrub scout. All right? And then you're going to be at a crossroads. Should you make the wrong decision and side with the church, or do you want to go the way of the gay and of me, Jesus Christ, and accept gay people and love them like you should? What do you think?" And I'm like, "I hear you, Jesus. Well, fuck yeah, I am team lesbian." So as soon as I found out that, Madison was putting from the rough, that I was all in on that shit. I love that. And then I got thrown the other curveball. She's dating a dude that used to be a chick. So what do you think about that, Easy? And I'm like, well, fuck yes, I love it all. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm you know what? I am all about, in this culture madness that we have right now, one of the only reasons why this is such a vocal thing by the church and they feel so emboldened to say these horrible things is because Trump has given this vocal minority of scumbags a platform, and they feel like it's okay to behave this way. That's what's going on. So it's his goddamn fault. Inadvertently, I don't think he planned on doing that. It's just that stupid people who, like Trump, are also bigoted like this. Okay? So that's where I stand on this. This is all very clear to me. I've never had an easier decision in my life than to leave the church. If I were to go to any other church that I would ever set foot in, it would be one that is a gay church. That's the only way I'm doing this. Okay? God, it's fucking nuts to me. I can't believe how. And you know what's also interesting is the willingness, how people are so willing to show their ass. These people, speaking of in the closet, were in the closet. That hatred nobody ever uttered that. Okay? And upon the arrival of Trump, leading up to the 2016 election, and from then to now it's okay to say you're bigoted horse shit. It's encouraged. All right? And so that's where we're at. Lots of comments. Hang on. I'm trying to pick out where we are. Tophus is in. Bye, church. Chris says, this all sounds downright Catholic. Yeah, you get that a lot with Catholics. Rebecca says they are all hypocrites. Brandis says, what a fucking cult mindset. So disgusting. Organized religion is such bullshit. There are some that are good. Tofa says, of course not. There's nothing about homosexuality in the Bible at all. Yeah, it's all been added. And then dumb shits go, you see, it says it right there. God doesn't like gay people. These are people who still believe being gay is a choice. Idiots. That's one of the first questions I ask people who are gay. I'm like, take me through, when did you start to think this way? Well, and they have, they'll describe to me what their mind was, where their mind was when they were a child, and what that was like growing up. And when they, I'll ask these questions. That's the questions I asked Madison. It's the questions I asked Madison's boyfriend, Ash. It's like, okay, you were born a girl, but you're a guy right now. Take me through what happened. How did this? Tell me about it. I'm interested in hearing your mindset. And then every time I've asked these questions, the answers I've gotten have been 100% honest. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that all makes sense. It's never been like, well, I was so tired of guys. I figured I'd just try girls. No, it's not like that at all. Kenny says no sin is greater than any other. Now, Kenny has a lot of biblical knowledge. I know that. And if you want to go back and quote the Bible, which they tend to do, these bigots, that's what I had thought, that sin is sin. And these people at this church are like, well, yeah, but that's a real big sin. That's the biggest. You can't be here. Well, then I guess you got to get rid of everybody who sins, you fucking asshole. Because they're all sinners. Don't tell me one sin is bigger than the other, you dumb cocksucker. No sin is greater than any other. And you know who originally pissed off the religious leaders in his time? Jesus. And Jesus would show love to anyone and everyone. These churches are being hateful. The exact opposite of Jesus. /and rant. Tophus adds. Hold on. Everything okay over there? Tophus adds, these scumbags grew up hating gay people because that's what they were brought up with. It's just a generational hate. Amy says, I wonder if the church would change their tune when it starts to affect their financial bottom line. Because we all know the church is a business. Exactly. Brandon says being gay is not a sin. The Western translation of the Bible wants us to believe it is. Being gay isn't a choice, for fuck's sake. She's so right. She's so right. But you can't convince these morons. And I don't want to be part of trying to convince them. They're just stupid people. They believe it's a sin, but it's not a sin. And even if it was a sin, who fucking cares? There's a lot of sinners. The point is, when you are in an organized religion, the way it's supposed to be is you go and you do good works as a congregation. You get the good word once or twice a week, and then you go out and you try to live the life that was intended by the faith. All right? That's it. Jimmy has a great question. Whatever happened to the Westboro Baptist Church? Those are the ones who would say God's hate, FAGs, FEGSs. They'd sing that song like kids would be singing that song. Kenny says, by the way, I went to the Nashville Pride Festival last Saturday because he had purchased a free dad hug shirt. He says it was hot and miserable, but giving out the hugs I did was awesome. Every person who hugged you has been alienated and ostracized and is being told to get out of their family life. Like their moms and dads told them to go fuck themselves. My God, that's terribly sad and uplifting that you did that. I was bummed out because I couldn't be at the Pride thing because I was up north. But that's my thing to do, too. Give out those free dad hugs. All right. That's enough of this rant. But I sometimes like to expose where I live as the piles of shit that surround me. All right? And I'm really glad that, you know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that my audience has been turned over. That even if people don't agree with what I say, like the ones who are listening but don't agree with me, that they shut the fuck up at moments like this. And the ones that do agree, see, it wasn't always like this. I had a different audience with the fucking former Zaniacs. They were like the people in the CRC, all right? Those types of right-wing weirdos. And I have been able to uplift the audience, improve the status of the audience. The people that are here are a better quality of people that enjoy the show. Okay? By upturning the junk drawer and getting all the shit out, it's so much easier to do this. All right? It's a fucking great, great thing. Something that is as right as rain. You know? Nick is here. He says, I've hated all religion since a teenager. Yeah, I have a organized religion is something that's not exactly on my radar either right now. So I'm just appreciative for the audience. You guys are a great audience. You really are. Follow Megan Phelps Roper or read her book. She's the daughter of the founder of the Westboro Baptist Church. Fantastic insights. So I'm taking she doesn't think like her dad. Patrick says, I listened to some older shows yesterday and the topics were very similar as today. So why was the audience so radical? Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with those people. I think, like I said, I think a lot of it had to do with Trump. And then these were dumb people to begin with. You take the Jeremys, the Jasons, the Andreas, the Deans, the Kates, the Jamingos. These were all morons, low IQ people, low lifes. These are low life people who have shitty lives. They're unbelievably poor. They're gross. They take a lot of drugs. They're fucking animals. All right? These are low-life people. The Melindas, scum. Scum people. Kenny's like, God damn it, I had dinner with them. They're low-lifes, buddy. No offense, but they are low-lifes. Chris says the shutdown portion of COVID and election with them in the chat was brutal. Jimmy says, if I fly to Michigan, Eric, can I drive back to Maine with you? No, I've got a strict mingling policy. I try not to be seen with you people. I only want to talk to you. That might be the most hurtful thing I've said in a long time. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a joke. I don't want to be around you people. Are you kidding me? I just want to talk to you. Oh, come on. No more loser Thanksgiving. No. The Zaniacs ruined it for you guys. Don't blame me. I was in a spot where I was trying to be as affable and accommodating as possible. And it got ruined. So I can't do that anymore. Are you kidding me? Tofus says, can I at least get a Ben link to the Ben and Eric show this week? Well, two things. First of all, we're not doing a show this week. And next week, I'm gone. So you won't get a show for 2 weeks. And second of all, what I do now is I don't send it individually to people. This is what I do for the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast link. I post it for Tier 2 members on Patreon. And it says right on it, I make a post that says, Big Fraud Thursday schedule, 6:15. Who are these Zanes? 7 p.m. Eastern. The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Click Zoom link to join the fun. I've been doing it that way like forever. And I make that post available only to people on the $10 level. So if that's you, Tofus, you will see that. You just got to read. It says Zoom link. Click here. Tofus says, how did I miss the link? It'll show up. It'll show up on your phone. It's Tofus. Dear Tofus, this is how you join. Because he says, I must have had a stroke that day. Because I saw your messages. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? I made it plain as day. All right. I still love you. Chris says you can still find the last ones in the feed. Okay, where was I? It's a long discussion we just had. Today is the day. I got to get my fucking haircut before I go to Maine. King's Room Barbershop is where I go. There's 3 locations in West Michigan. Northland Drive, Caledonia, and at 821 36th Street. We are fast approaching the 50-year anniversary of King's Room Barbershop, the week of July 8th through the 13th. That's 50-year week. You go into any King's Room, get the haircut, you spin the wheel of prices. And if you land on 1974, you're going to pay that amount for the haircut. That's a 1974 price. Now, if you land on 2024, it's still $19. But then you spin the wheel again and you can win prizes. Okay? Also, for everybody who gets a haircut, they're in the running for the brand new flat screen TV that they're giving away. King's Room Barbershop, a 50-year institution in West Michigan. Get your haircut there. Buy now, refinance later. That's what Jackie and Justin are doing as we speak. They got pre-approved, and they're looking to buy a house. Van Dyke Mortgage, buy now, refinance later, 231-332-6505. Reach out to them and say, hey, EZ said buy now, refinance later. Let's get started. By the end of the day, you're pre-approved. Tomorrow, you can put a bid in on a house. And I was told this. If you go into a house that you like and you're like, okay, this house looks great. There's going to be 10 other people bidding on that house. Do this trick. Trust me on this. So you got pre-approved from Mario. House is going for $310. You've got $310. I'll give you asking price, and I'm going to waive the inspection because the seller has to pay for the inspection. I'm waiving the inspection. You do that, you're going to be a step above the other ones. If you got any shot at it, that's going to help you. Tough to buy a house these days because everybody's trying to buy the fucking house. It is a seller's market. So then you get that fucking house and do your own goddamn inspection. All right? Reach out to Mario, 231-332-6505. If you have a car and it needs service, Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. 616-532-6600. 616-532-6600. If you have a regular car, if you have a hybrid, if you have an electric vehicle and anything goes wrong, they will take care of you. They've been doing it for many, many years. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. Sorry, if you notice I'm taking deep breaths, it's because it's hard to breathe. I just watched a video of a guy on public speaking. And he advises banishing a word that I just said. And his advice to public speakers is this. It was like a continuing education course. There's one thing that people don't do enough, and that is pause. If you are speaking and you sound like Ben Glaze going, your credibility is immediately destroyed. It gets lower and lower with every which people use while they're thinking of something to say. Instead, be silent. That right there is the key to sounding less like a retard. What I'm telling you is Ben Glaze sounds super retarded. And he needs to banish that, as I do too. I think we all could use, see, right there. Lowering my credibility. We need to banish that from our vocabulary right now. You will sound 1 million times more brilliant when you eliminate Why are you hearing this? I don't know. But I just saw it the other day. I was like, God damn it, that guy is right. Jeremy says there's a lot of pausing in Steve and Kyle's podcast. I think this person is wrong because that doesn't make them any better. Well, you can only expect so much effectiveness. When you have nothing that you're actually talking about, it doesn't matter. If you're not saying, it's still going to be shit. Patrick says, this is something that you have to conscientiously focus on. Correct. At least in the beginning. However, like anything, you can train yourself and you will be better. And it will become second nature. I promise you. Maureen asks, great question. Speaking of Ben, what happened to the Ben and Amanda show for this week and next? Well, we're not doing it. I think we talked about it, and then I don't think anybody, me, lifted a finger to make that a reality. And now here we are, 48 hours until I leave for Maine. It's just not happening. I think the idea there is it's not like there wasn't, it's not like I was without a willingness to do it. It's just it didn't get done. And now we're fucked. Chris says someone could send a link on Patreon. Okay. Let me do this. I'll think about it. And what I mean by that is the steps that I have to take. Let me talk it out. Okay, Ben, I'm going to give you my login information for Patreon. That's what I would have to do. Give him my login information. And then he'd have to do the Zoom link. And yeah, it's too much. It's a fucking pain in the ass. It's just weird. It's a lot. If he were seated right here, that'd be one thing. I hope you're buying that. I hope you accept what I have to say. All right. See, there, right there. You can't do Ruins your credibility, easy. Thank you to TC Paintball, son of a bitch, the almighty Rick at TC Paintball, who still gives me shit about the start time of this podcast. It's like, dude, come on. You know the interesting thing about a podcast? You can watch it and listen to it anytime you want. Anytime. The majority of my audience consumes my podcast after it's completed. There are some who get it live, like right now. It's usually 2 to 3 dozen people. Sometimes 4 dozen on a good day. So I don't know what else to tell you, buddy. I'm trying to make a living too. Great opportunity. Do a morning radio show. Regardless, this isn't about lecturing Rick about how wrong he is. It's about you going to visit him with your bachelor party, your workplace team building event, neighborhood kids want to get together, a birthday party, bachelorette party, maybe. TC Paintball, the paintball destination in the great state of Michigan. They come from all over to visit TC Paintball, and there's a reason why. They're the best. Fully stocked pro shop. If that's your thing, if you get interested in the game and want to take it to the next level and purchase something from Rick, it's all there. I highly recommend you do it that way because you can try out the equipment while you are there. Online at tcpaintballgr.com. Finally, my pal Frank Fuss is very bullish about you having health insurance. If you don't have health insurance right now, you're really, really rolling the dice. Maybe you're self-employed. Maybe you're in between jobs, Ashley. Maybe your employer does not offer insurance. Get your insurance. Well, I can't afford that, EZ. I went to healthcare.gov. This policy is $1,300 a month. Yeah, you're not quite sure how the process works, are you? Bruce just walked in to visit me. What you do... There, I said, I got to stop that. What you do is you reach out to Frank Fuss. It doesn't cost you anything to have him do this for you. And then by the end of the day, you have an insurance policy, and you're paying a fraction of what the cost of the premium is because you're getting a tax credit. That's the way Obamacare works. There was a lot of people that were like, this Obamacare sucks. I love Obamacare. It's been nothing but good for my family and I. Since I started the podcast, that's the only insurance we've had is through Obamacare. That's how I insure my entire fucking family. So I don't want to hear any more excuses. I can't get it because I don't have a job or my boss doesn't have. Fuck you. Go buy your insurance. Frank will help you. All you need to really do is go to buyinsurancehere.com, fill out the form, and Frank will handle the rest. Quit being a do-nothing, know-nothing pussy and get your insurance, asshole. Okay? Do you guys remember the story of Christian Kleingens? This is the dude right here in Ottawa County. This guy won the election, the recall election against Lucy Ebel. She was that Ottawa Impact bitch. And they got enough signatures to put her on a recall ballot in May. And Kleingens won the election. So that's one down. Now, the rest of Ottawa Impact is going to be ousted coming up in November. Okay? First of all, Tofa says, I never knew about a tax credit, just saw the prices on the open market. Yeah, those prices, that's not what you pay. The government, let's say it's $1,200, $1,300 for a policy, you'll pay $200 and you get the tax credit. Now, if you keep your earning below a certain threshold, you don't have to pay that back. If you're a fucking ass kicker like me, I will pass the goddamn threshold because I'm an earner. And Tophus says, I'd hit that threshold. Well, you don't know. You don't even know what the fucking threshold is. Talk to Frank, ding dong. Oh, he says, no, I mean, I'd hit that plan. Yeah, just call Frank. Quit being a cock. All right, anyway. So this guy wins the election, and then a story a couple weeks ago, I talked to you about this. MSU Extension, which I don't even know what MSU Extension is, but MSU Extension gets money from Ottawa County. Kleingens works for MSU Extension. I'm not sure of his role there. But the folks at all of a sudden Kleingens is told, yeah, you're fired. Conflict of interest. And he's like, well, I made sure with my lawyer ahead of time that there is no conflict of interest in this. And it's clear that MSU Extension, through political meddling, was convinced by the Ottawa Impact fucks to fire Kleingens. All right? Because of him winning the recall election. So right away, everybody's like, I don't know. It doesn't sound too, it sounds a little fishy. And Tophus, let's see, Nick says, MSU Extension non-credit training courses. I did some for farming and electrical. Okay, gotcha. Well, that's what he did. He worked for MSU Extension. Being associated with Ottawa County, MSU Extension gets over $600,000 from Ottawa County. So one can only assume that the right-wing MAGA fucks went to MSU Extension and said, you fire this son of a bitch or you're not getting your funding. That's only speculation at this point. But we're going to find out because Kleingens sued. Which is fucking great. MSU Extension now sued, claiming political pressure motivated the firing. You knew this was coming. So this is all going to come out in the wash. With this lawsuit happening, the real story is going to be told because people will be speaking under oath, and nobody wants a perjury charge. Kleingens says the organization terminated his employment for political reasons. There I go again. Kleingens says he was fired because of conflict of interest between the two positions he held. The lawsuit alleges he was let go mainly because of political pressure. Kleingens is seeking compensation in the form of damages while also hoping to regain his job with MSU Extension. Now, for some of you audience members, you're not in Ottawa County. You're like, but you're still interested in the story because I have been talking about this for 2 years now. And we oftentimes turn to Joe Spalding, who was kind of like our authority on all things Ottawa County. He was involved with a lot of the...
Hello, Eric Zane.
Joe Spalding, Eric Zane, live on the podcast. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It is. It's a crazy couple weeks here in Michigan politics.
We were just discussing Christian Kleingens.
Yes.
That is. That's my. You knew it was coming. That there would be some dirty, underhanded revenge bullshit with MSU Extension. Is it your impression that MSU Extension felt the pressure from Joe Moss?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was said in any conversation with Joe Moss and Allison Miedema and then the leadership of MSU Extension, but it would be very surprising if there wasn't an implied threat to their funding, which I think comes up for review this December.
It's more than $600,000 the county gives to MSU Extension, which I'm learning on the fly as to what MSU Extension actually does. I guess they provide training for citizens who want to do various things through county services. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, that is about right. And, they have more than 100-year relationship with the county. What Chris did there specifically was he taught nutrition classes, which is just like, it's like the most benign, apolitical thing in the universe. It's actually one of the reasons I thought he was a great candidate is because he was working on something pretty, not political.
So these are those classes might go to community members who, might struggle in basic things like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
that's exactly right.
Right. So he's giving information about, you should get 3 square meals and try not to fry your food and let's make a salad. So he's doing shit like that. And that's his life's work. So suddenly he finds out, hey, you're fired. And then there is, I think, a lawyer, Chris's lawyer sent a letter to MSU Extension saying, look, you're going to have to rethink this or it's going to get ugly. Yesterday was ugly day, was it not?
Yeah. So, that's when I guess we all found out that we needed to do this federal lawsuit route is how that was going to go.
Okay. So now, people under oath, do you think that it's going to come out in the wash after people put their hands on Bibles about the source of the firing? Are there Ottawa Impact people who are like, oh, shit, our name's going to come up again?
Yeah, so like the thing that's kind of I've seen, there's not a lot that could make Joe Moss or Ottawa Impact stutter step or recoil or second guess themselves. The times that I've seen them flinch have been times where they've risked going to court and having their communications be subject to, be brought out in public and trial there. And so, the fact that these communications with MSU Extension and internal communications between the other board members, the other members of Ottawa Impact, could come up and become public because of this. And this is not like the Adeline Hambley lawsuit where they can settle their way out of it instantly, right? They have to rely on the third party settling this now, MSU doing that, and then there being no discovery is what it's called in court, where they get all their garbage exposed. I've seen them multiple times flinch on this. So I'm very curious what happens.
Right, because the lawsuit isn't against Ottawa Impact. It's against Extension, which they might not have any say as to what comes out in the wash. So this could turn into an even bigger disaster than the Hambley thing.
Yep, and they could still be compelled under threat of perjury or contempt to supply their emails as witnesses.
Wow. Okay. So what do you think of this idea? There's signs all over the place. They all look the same with just different names and faces for Ottawa County Commission candidates. And, it's never a good idea to deface signs or steal signs. That's a bad idea. However, can you imagine if, like, you or I had a sign that just said, is a lying whore? And we stood next to a sign of an Ottawa Impact candidate, or is an asshole next to the Joe Moss sign. Do you think that might be fun to do at some point?
I don't see that as being pointless. I think that could be fun. And you are correct that I guess it's technically destruction of property to deface someone else's yard sign.
Yes.
But it's just an expression of the First Amendment and some good old-fashioned protesting fun if you stand next to it with a different sign.
Yeah, if my sign says asshole with an arrow pointing at Joe Moss's head, I think some people are going to honk at that one, Joe Spalding.
That's right. And so Sylvia Rohde's kid, I don't remember the kid's name, but he's a full-on adult, so I'm comfortable talking about him. He went viral online, Hayden or something, going to GVSU and sitting in outside because they have like a designated protest zone, which is kind of dumb, but whatever. And he went outside the protest zone with some sign about abortion, and all these professors came out and complained to him, and he went viral just kind of sitting there listening to these older professor ladies complain at him. And I'm just like, that's not how you can't go whine your way out of this situation. You have to hold the sign saying the guy has no dick, right? You have to go with the First Amendment and do it better than they're doing it.
Okay, so now you and the crew who helped recall Lucy Ebel, we're talking about an army of boots on the ground volunteers. So if we did a guerrilla effort, get a bunch of Chewy boxes, break them down, and write, small cock, asshole, dirty whore, and just, we just canvass the whole goddamn county with these signs standing there. Holy shit, it would be just an onslaught of hilarity, in my opinion.
I think it would be way funnier than any episode of Free Beer and Hot Wings since you've been gone. But also, I think that I might be able to come up with a better use of volunteers' time if we got an army together assembled for a period of marching. They're doing this stuff where they want to talk positively about people and what we can accomplish.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I guess we can go with that. So.
It's probably just more fun to talk about it on this show. That's probably the extent of this.
I think it's great TV and great radio, great podcasting. I cannot get enough of people making fun of these assholes. So
we have a big to-do in our own little neck of the woods. Thursday is the debate. I'm not very comfortable with how this debate is going to go. I think this might be ugly for our old boy, Joe Biden.
Yeah, I think that they should make them both do drugs. That would be funny. So,
all right, Joe Spalding, as always, you are the best. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Eric Zane. Take care.
All right, buddy. There you go. Joe Spalding. Don't forget to vote for anyone other than Ottawa Impact people. It's that simple. Megan says, I'd honk at that sign, Eric. I might do that. All I need to do is to write asshole with an arrow and stand there. Someone's bound to come up, and then I just shoot video. And then they try to assault me. I was like, look, I am protected by Amendment 1, cocksucker. I'm standing here with a sign that says asshole next to on the sidewalk with your sign that says Joe Moss. That would be fantastic. We can go with asshole sign, smelly snatch bitch sign, dirty whore sign. Okay. Chris says, I took a ride out to Lakeshore recently, was amazed at the equal number of love Ottawa Impact versus hate Ottawa Impact signs. Yeah, I love it when people post Ottawa Impact signs. I just know to avoid those people. Those are people I don't want to talk to. Okay? Now, if I meet someone at the dog park and I like them, and then they say, well, yeah, I love Ottawa Impact. I'm to a point now where I'd say, I got to go, man. I can't. Yeah, I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the asshole of the day. But I oftentimes struggle in trying to recall what I talk about on the show. Oh, I got it, though. I got it. How many times have I done that? I don't even know what the fuck I talked about. Yesterday, it was Michael Richards. Who's going to buy that fucking book? Asshole of the Day is brought to you by TC Paintball. I think we're on the same page. David says, asshole of the day, Kelly Cheese. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're there for Kelly Cheese being the asshole of the day. It's possible. That depends on what Ross wants to say. My new pal, Ross. Hero of the day, Meathead. Tophus says, what did Kelly Cheese do? You idiot. Go back and watch the show. He says, are you going to get Ross on? That's up to Ross. I have spoken with Ross. He seems like a nice guy. He's very frustrated. I'll tell you that right now. I don't pressure people. David says, get him on. Yeah, I never, ever, ever pressure. Like when I was talking to Rachel, Joe's ex, I said, if you want to come on, I said, I'll only mention this once. If you want to come on, you can come on. If you don't want to come on, I don't care. Open door policy whenever you want. And it still stands to this day. I put that out there for Kelly Cheese, too. She can be on my show if she wants. I want Kelly and Ross on at the same goddamn time. Are there sensitive things that Ross said about Kelly that if I said that right now would change the landscape of this conversation? Yes. Absolutely. Is that my story to tell? Absolutely not. Your asshole of the day is the Christian Reformed Church. Congratulations, you've just won an award. You gay-hating fucks. Fuck you. Jesus hates you. As always, you've been a fantastic audience. I appreciate you very much. Join me on Patreon a little while later on. Till then, have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.